But all I want is equality for my sister, my brother, my people, and me. No, you don't have to live next to me. Just give me my equality. Everybody knows about Mississippi. Everybody knows about Alabama. Everybody knows about Mississippi. Gone down. That's it.
And the man said, you better hope she's dead or severely unconscious, because you just pulled off her headpiece. And she's Muslim. And
so they're recognizing the civil rights violation based on religion.
He said it.
He said it, huh?
He said it. And then the lady, the nurse.
Right. You go ahead.
The nurse said, oh, no, open up the door. She's not faking. I've been working on her. Open up the door right now. Open up the door. And she came in really fast, and I was trying to get my hands to move. She pulled me up and raised me up, and I was...
My name is Christopher King, and responsible governments like me, irresponsible governments, and corrupt politicians don't. So, basically, I'll qualify myself real quickly and get right back to this movie. High school, journalism, state debate, undergrad, newspapers, after undergrad, editor of a weekly newspaper, worked for a daily newspaper, trial attorney, assistant state attorney, and I ran a mortgage company, which led me to expose corruption on that level when I found out about it. And in this case right now, you're going to see that there are no answers to our reasonable requests for information involving use of cameras, body cams. There's no response at all from the county. And there are no police reports from the city, okay? Yeah, that's all I got to say. Just watch the movie. Well, then if so, the people who signed the deed of trust have to testify rather than Attorney Eidson. That's pretty simple, folks. You know, Law School 101. We'll see if the court gets it right.
I'm wondering, so now, did you have firsthand knowledge of any of those things that you attested to in your declaration, sir?
You can keep asking questions, but I'm not going to answer your questions.
That's fine. I'm going to keep asking them. That's what I do. Yep. On the removal, did you clearly see that she did not state a cause of action for FDCPA? Did you notice that there was a difference in the language there when you went to remove the case? And also, your partner did that, John Glowney. Now, let me ask you this. Did he do that on behalf of everyone? Was there mutual assent ever manifest in this case by all the defendants to remove the case? Because I didn't see it. Counsel.
Excuse me.
Counsel. Have a nice day.
I didn't know in my history that when the man had said, I almost believe you because you're shaking.
Yes.
It was because I was seizing. I didn't know in my history that I had seizures. I didn't know until that day.
All right.
But what I did know is that I have had 2 mini strokes. So the lady came in from rehabilitation and she said, ma'am, she said, your cognitive skills they did all these tests. She said, your cognitive skills are gone right now.
At this point, you know, I'm turning the case over to an attorney, as I mentioned at the outset, and then we're just doing a little direct testimony so the attorney can see basically what happened. Now we're back. Okay, so I don't have anything, you don't have anything, and I told them I'm going to go find you a lawyer.
And everything disappeared. They said that there was no video from the outside when they was talking about Muslims and Talibans and making those jokes.
But and the transporter, and what did the transporter do? What did they say?
Get him.
He did not like the conduct that he witnessed in the paddy wagon, or the officers.
They were white.
Okay.
But the one man that came was black, and he says, why are you, like, you don't have a record, you don't have anything, what happened? He said, I can't find, you're not on drugs or anything like that. He said, you know, just really surprised. And then they kept peeking and looking.
Was he a deputy sheriff as well?
He was a person that was over medical. People like you, and you doing what you do, then our voices would not be heard. And you're so important. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I know 1,000 other people thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's be clear about something. Police officers stand in a position of authority for a reason, a purpose. They went to school, they take some hard knocks, they deserve to be where they are. They are not infallible. They make mistakes.
Right. Yeah, the truth only takes one take.
That's right.
Okay. So, folks, you're here with King Cast Lifestyle and Justice wrapped in one. And basically, I'm here with Sharon Tolbert, the owner of Grandma's in the Kitchen. We're going to talk about some events. We're going to go over their background, what they've been doing here the last several years, 4 years, as a great restaurant. I know I've visited here. David Wiley and I have been here together for an event. And yeah, they hate him too, by the way. But anyway, so we're going to talk about these things. And I'm going to end up standing in the shoes of her trial attorney, because that's what I did for years and I'm good at it. So
I heard.
that's right. You heard right. So let's start this off with this. We're just going to play it like this. You've been sworn. The judge has instructed us to go forward, and I'm going to approach you now.
Sure.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness? Yeah, go ahead on, King. Do what you need to do. Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate that. Could you state your name and record for state? Could you state your name for the record, please? All right, let's start over. Okay. Could you state your name for the record, please?
Sharon Tolbert.
Yes.
Excuse my voice. My voice is gone.
That's fine. And could you tell us a little bit about yourself? What brings you here? I understand this is a restaurant that you had going for a number of years.
Yes.
Give us a little bit of a background into that.
So my restaurant started right at the beginning of COVID. We've lasted for a good 4 years. Currently moving locations right now, so we're not any longer at 2831 West Marine View Drive. But what we did was do Southern soul food cooked from the heart.
I know, because I've had it several times, and there's some love in that food, and I think it's great food, period, and great soul food, which is hard to find around here.
Take it back.
take another bow.
All right.
All right then. That was like a curtsy bow. I like it. So then, you say you started about 4 years ago, and I know you've had critical acclaim and all that type of success.
Presidential inauguration papers, Herald, lots of good things happened to me here.
Wonderful. Tell us about some of your favorite meals.
I would say that I don't eat meat, by the way. So I would say that my jerk fruit would be my favorite. A lot of the favorites for other people would actually be the gumbo and the catfish. People come from miles around for the catfish, from Bellingham, from all over Tacoma, everywhere for the catfish.
Yes, was lovely. So I look forward to the new location. Do you have an anticipated date?
Actually, right now I'm in Bothell, but I'm actually working on a location that's going to be on Evergreen Way. It's not fully constructed yet, but it's coming along.
Terrific. And listen, we're on a jury walk. We have the jury out here at the scene. That does happen, by the way. I've done that. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the plaintiff now is going to explain a little bit about this mural that is emblazoned upon the wall behind her and what it means to her. If you would do so, please.
So on the left, that's my son, Jaterius Tolbert, rest in peace. And he was always proud of me whenever I got my first 4 culinary art degrees, and was going to accompany me at Le Cordon Bleu for my 4th one. He's no longer with us. He was accidentally murdered in 2015, and it just was a good feeling to have him on the wall with me, holding my hand through this whole process. And then, of course, we have Breonna Taylor, and she's another reason why I'm standing firm on what I'm doing and wanting to pursue with the officers, because her injustice makes me fight more for my justice. And it'll be for her and all the other people that have been ignored and their deaths just ignored, and the injustice of all the things that have happened to us as a whole.
That's terrific. Mr. King, you're getting a little astray of the point. Well, thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate the latitude. Now, I have some specific questions then to ask you. If I could have one more question, though. Who did the wall for you?
We had some people from New York that came through the city of Everett, and they actually did it. And they'll be doing, hopefully, we're trying to contact them. They'll be doing the other 2 locations, the art on those.
That's great. I'm actually working with some responsible police up in Mount Vernon. We have a mural that we painted on the backside of our wall, and the children from the high school there are going to do some work on the front, and I'm going to have a showcase there as well. So,
and even though I'm moving, I've had people come down from the apartments behind us and wonder if the new people, or if the owner, if she tears it down and goes up higher, they want to know what's going to happen, because this mural has become very important to the community as well. And I didn't know how important, but people just kept pouring in the questions about what's going to happen with the murals.
All right then. Okay, so let's turn our attention to the events of, I believe it was December of 2023.
Yes, December 19th.
Tell us what happened that day. I understand you were in some type of a disagreement with a family member over a cell phone.
So my granddaughter, I was raising 12. I'm down to my last 4 grandkids now, raising them.
Congratulations.
And my granddaughter, she's always been very spoiled, and that's my fault. I love them. And what happened this particular day is that I said no, and I said a very firm no. And she didn't want to hear it, and she challenged my authority, both verbally and physically. And I'm old-fashioned like my grandmother and my mother and stuff. Don't come for me if you don't want me to come for you. And I had to protect myself. And in the state of Washington, that's considered domestic violence. And I wasn't gonna let my angel go. I didn't push everything that happened to me. I was the one that went. Once I got to the jail, the nurse noticed.
And so who comes to the, first of all, who comes to the house?
The sheriff department comes to the house.
Were there any Everett police with them?
Not that I know of, no.
Not at that time. Please proceed.
So they talked to us, and one of the officers, they kind of knew about me and my restaurant and all that and stuff. So it was very, very nice. It wasn't a mean, mad situation at all. But someone has to go. It's a rule. Someone has to go on a DV, as you know, and it was me.
Okay. So they take you down, and how many officers, how many deputies were present?
There were 3 carloads of police, and it ended up being two cars of police at the end.
Okay, so initially, though, at the house, how many deputy sheriffs showed up?
3.
Okay, they're in one car.
3 cars.
All separate cars.
Yes.
So you proceed. They put you in a paddy wagon. How do they transport you to the?
In a paddy wagon.
Okay, so there's 4 vehicles on the road, and then what happens?
So after that, I arrived at the police station, and I talked to the first person intake, and they noticed that I have something on my head. Well, at home I have my rag, but knowing that I'm going to be in this situation, I just pulled my, which I do a lot of times. You guys refer to them as gaiters. We use them sometimes to cover our hair, anything to cover our hair because of the non-exposure. So the scarf would have been a danger because someone can hang themselves. It's just dangerous. So upon arriving there, I got it cleared from the lady. I said, I'm Muslim. You can look, find out the information. She asked me the mosque that I go to, all the information. I told her about my diet, etc. And she said that I can go ahead and wear it.
Okay.
So then from that point, you go to the nurse, and the nurse has to assess. And the nurse at that point, she looks at me and she says, you just don't look right. You look funny. Your vitals are way off the Richter scale. And I said, well, I just did get into it with a 17-year-old. So maybe that. She said, no, honey. She said, you just don't look right. Well, after her assessment, you go to a cell. That was really scary, but okay. So you go to a cell, and I was in there with some ladies, and then all of a sudden I noticed that there were officers that kept peeking in, and then this other man came.
What color were what race or color, ethnicity were the officers?
They were white.
Okay.
But the one man that came was black, and he says, why are you, like, you don't have a record, you don't have anything, what happened? He said, I can't find you, not on drugs or anything like that. He said, just really surprised. And then they kept peeking and looking.
Was he a deputy sheriff as well?
He was a person that was over medical and over things that happen in the jail. Okay. So the nurse said, I'm going to have to make sure I get your medicines really quick because something's not sitting right.
You're crashing.
Yeah. And so then she came back and they asked me about my food diet. And they said that I can eat a veggie tray. Well, this other lady came around. She was African American. I was very surprised with her behavior. But anyway, she passed out. She was gonna pass out the food. And I said, ma'am, I can't have that. I said, I'm Muslim, and you guys said there was gonna be a veggie tray. She slams the thing down, and nobody in the pods gets food at that point.
Oh boy.
Nobody gets food.
Yeah, now you're the problem.
Yeah. So the other ladies and stuff didn't blame me and stuff like that. They were just really, they didn't blame me. They just were surprised.
Right.
So when the sheriff, I knocked on the door and I said, I'm not feeling my best right now. I'm hungry. And she said that I can have a vegetarian. At that point, and 10 minutes later, he came and removed the other ladies from the cell and left me in there. And I was talking to him, and he turned sideways, just ignoring me like I was a piece of trash or whatever. But I was very mindful to be very respectful and really nice, not, argumentative, problematic.
And what happens
not raise
next?
my voice.
Yeah.
So then he says, so he just ignores me. So then So then the nurse comes and she takes my vitals again. She says, oh boy, you know, there's a problem here. I got to hurry up and I got to go get your medicines really quick. I'm not feeling really good about what these vitals and all these are. So
And this nurse, can you describe her a little bit? I think I believe you told me.
African American, and she was from Tennessee as well.
Okay, and so she is another witness. And by the way, let's take you aside.
She's going to be a big one. When I go with the story, she's going to be a big one.
Well, let's take this aside for a quick second. That's okay. I'll edit that. So let's take you aside for a second. Now, I understand she's a witness, and
the transporter.
But and the transporter. And what did the transporter do? What did they say?
He hit him.
He did not like the conduct that he witnessed in the paddy wagon. Okay.
Not the transporter from the hospital. This is another transporter.
Okay.
So we're jumping a little bit.
Okay, we jumped a little bit, but there's another witness though.
Yes.
Transporting from the hospital.
Yes.
Back to where?
To from the jail to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll come in just a second.
Okay, I got you there. But these witnesses, you still don't know who they are though, right? No, let me leading question. These witnesses, do you know who they are yet? By name?
No.
Or by position?
Position, yes.
Okay. And have you attempted to find out more about the identity of these people?
Yes, I've been blocked.
And so you tried did you try personally to get information?
I tried through you, through Chris King.
Yes.
And I also made phone calls. And then even in the office, I asked the man, can I look at the film? And he gave me a link that I can go to that led to nowhere.
So, folks, I'm going to jump in here, which is, you can't do that. Well, no, you can't really. I could walk to the witness, though. But anyway, so here's the problem. And you'll see this in the pictures I'm showing right now. I asked 2 months ago for information. At first, I linked it to the restaurant. Then a couple days later, I linked it to the house from where this whole incident, the genesis of the problem. So I got the police manuals that clearly indicated that body cams are supposed to be worn. But I got no footage. They provided no footage, and they didn't provide any incident reports from that night. They provided a wall of reports from here, because crime is rampant, but it had none of it reflects negatively on Ms. Tolbert. So at this point, I'm turning the case over to an attorney, as I mentioned at the outset, and then we're just doing a little direct testimony so the attorney can see basically what happened. Now we're back. Okay, so I don't have anything, you don't have anything, and I told them I'm going to go find you a lawyer.
And everything disappeared.
Uh-huh.
They said that there was no video from the outside when they was talking about Muslims and Talibans and making those jokes from where he said when I was skipping. So let's
back up again and start from where you left off. Yeah. Sorry.
So she comes back, she does the vitals, and I'm getting ready to get up from the seat because I go to sit down after this on the other side. So when I go to get up, I fall. And I'm just a little bit short of the door to where I cannot to try to say, hey, please help me. So I laid there for 4 hours. I kept trying to talk. I would move a little bit, but I couldn't get close enough to the door. And my tongue began to protrude to where it felt like I couldn't talk. And so I laid there for 4 hours. And then after 4 hours, this man came to the door. And I can hear him, and I said, oh, thank you, God, thank you. He's going to see me, and I'm not going to die. I'm going to get help. And he said, Roland Tolbert, come on, don't you want to go? Don't you want to go? And they said, you'd almost be believable if you wasn't shaking so much. You'd almost be believable if you wasn't shaking so much. And I said, please, God, please, let him look at my face. Please let him see my tongue's out. Let him help me, God, I'm going to die. And instead of doing that, I just started feeling forceness to my head and to my face by my jaw. And he was saying, get up, stop faking. You're faking, you're faking. And then all of a sudden, he pulled my headpiece off of my head, hit the ground real far, and he slammed the door. And when he slammed the door, his sergeant or somebody said, because I guess he was holding it or waving or something, and the man said, you better hope she's dead or severely unconscious because you just pulled off her headpiece and she's Muslim. And
so they're recognizing the civil rights violation based on religion.
He said it.
He said it, huh?
He said it. And then the nurse.
Right? Yeah, go ahead.
The nurse said, oh, no, open up the door. She's not faking. I've been working on her. Open up the door right now. Open up the door. And she came in really fast, and I was trying to get my hands to move. She pulled me up and raised me up, and I was still trying to get her to see. And she said, your face is okay, but I need you to stay with me. I need you to stay with me. And then, the man that did it, he came in there and he put his foot up on the cement, and he's looking at me really intimidating, like, you better not say this, or you better. I was really scared, but the nurse said, she said, no, stay with me. What happened? She said, why are you holding your privates? Did somebody do something to your privates? And then I started to begin to talk a little bit. And I was saying, no, what I was trying to let her know is that I had embarrassingly.
Yes. Not uncommon.
So then she told somebody, she said, oh Lord, she's cold to the touch. She's cold to the touch. And so she went out, and they said that I needed to be transported to the hospital. So they got a wheelchair, and they pulled me out front. When they pulled me out front, a bunch of them hurdled where there's a stand, we're processing, and a bunch of them hurdled, and they were saying Taliban and making all these kind of Muslim stuff and just saying really cruel stuff. And I didn't want to say anything because I was scared that they was going to attack me. I didn't want to say nothing because I didn't know what was going to come next. And I didn't know, since she knew, I didn't even know she could protect me. I didn't know who was who. I was scared. So I didn't say anything, and I just listened. And I just said, may Allah forgive them because they know not what they do. And then the lady came over there and she said, I need for you to wipe your tears. And she said, I need you to be strong because I seen, and I know your only job is to stay alive. I need you to stay with me. I need you to stay alive, and I'm going to make sure that you get to the hospital because I don't want them to see you cry. I don't want them to see you weak like this. We're going to be better than this. And so I tried to straighten up. I just kept crying because I was humiliated because I was urine. I was humiliated because they had my hair all over my head. And I don't know if you guys know about Muslim and stuff, but we only expose in front of our husbands.
Oh,
Our
I'm
husbands
very well aware.
only have the right to see my body, see our long hair. That's not the right of everybody. He had no right to expose me, so she got my gator back, as they say, gator, and put it back on my head so that I can have some form of some kind of dignity. And then I arrived at the hospital, and the first two officers was really nice. Then there was another officer, and I cut on the TV, and he just started being me, cut that down right now. And he was talking to someone on the phone and his friends and stuff. And I said, I'm the patient. You're not the patient, and I can't hear. If you don't cut that down, I'm getting lightheaded again. But I'm gonna take you and have you not be able to. He was just really threatening to me, and I think that maybe he was the ones, or knew one of the ones, because the other two officers that sat in there with me was very nice, but this officer immediately just started just being really funny acting. So then finally it was assessed after MRIs and CTs and all that stuff, and the lady to come in from rehabilitation. I didn't know in my history that when the man had said, I almost believe you because you're shaking.
Yes.
It was because I was seizing. I didn't know in my history that I had seizures. I didn't know until that day.
All right.
But what I did know is that I have had 2 mini strokes. So the lady came in from rehabilitation and she said, ma'am, she said, your cognitive skills they did all these tests. She said, your cognitive skills are gone right now. She said, you can't administer your own medicine. She said, you can't drive. You can't do anything. Is there anybody that can take 100% control over you?
Cut. And that's all they need to know.
Okay, because my daughter flew in from Tennessee. She had to fly in
right.
from Tennessee.
Oh, to get you. Right,
yeah,
that's right. That's important.
Because they said that if I didn't have someone to take care of me,
you had to say that.
Exactly.
That's another issue. But I'm running out of battery, so we're gonna run. Yeah. And let's give it up to this woman right here.
And thank you, Chris, because if it wouldn't be for people like you and you doing what you do, then our voices would not be heard. And you're so important. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I know 1,000 other people thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
But all I want is equality for my sister, my brother, my people, and me.